Hey guys, how are you this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are in the world? It is Bridget Davis here from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, coming to you live from the airport in Honolulu for our Q&A Fridays. Now it is only Thursday here in Honolulu, but I know it's Friday back home in Sydney, and as promised, I will always come live to you guys on a Friday, no matter where in the world I am. And I know it's a real early one this time, but we are about to hop onto an airplane flying home to Sydney. Very, very excited about going home to Sydney. Let me tell you how excited I am. You can see I'm airplane ready. I have my scarf to wrap around my face, which is how I normally travel anyway. But due to obviously what is happening in the world right now, we can't ignore it. We can't deny it's not happening. There is, from all the research that I've read, from all the scientific journals that I have been immersing myself in, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And what we're talking about is this incredible spread of COVID-19, of the coronavirus around the world, and what it means to us. It doesn't matter where you currently are in the world, whether you're back home in Sydney, whether you're in Tari. So I can see Leslie. Good morning to Leslie. Whether you're in Tari, right in the beautiful Tari on the side of the river there. Kathy, hi my darling, joining us from Sydney, as we know. Whether you're in our daughter's in Europe, she's in Amsterdam at the moment, in the Netherlands. We have friends of ours who are in Italy, and we've all heard about the lockdown that is currently happening in Italy. The entire country, we're talking 60 million people are currently locked down in isolation in their homes, unable to move except for emergency situations and for certain types of work. And what does that mean for us? Even though, the COVID-19, the virus, may not have affected anyone in your neighborhood, there is still a possibility. And I don't want to bring fear and panic into people's lives, but it definitely does pay to be prepared. Like anything in life, once you are prepared, once you are mentally and physically prepared, you can better approach whatever situation, whatever life throws at us right now, right? Whatever life throws at us right now, we need to be prepared for it, because who knows what's going to happen. Like I think about when Mahe and I left left Sydney 10 days ago, and we flew to California, and the situation that we are leaving the US in right now is so completely different from when we arrived only 10 days earlier. And 10 days is not a long time, but it is a long time when we're talking about a pandemic, when we're talking about a virus. And as you guys know, the World Health Organization called this a pandemic only yesterday. So we're talking about quite a different situation to what we've experienced. Definitely in my lifetime, in my generation, we haven't experienced a pandemic quite the same as this. We have had pandemics in the past, but not one quite the same as this. So, an evening to Steve. Steve joining us all the way from the UK as well. Cheyenne as well. Good morning to Cheyenne. So I thought what we'll do today in the Q&A, and I know I've been talking about this a lot, and I will continue to talk about it because it's really important that we talk about this. Today's Q&A, we're going to talk about how to prepare your pantry for a possible shutdown. Because if you just look at Italy, and where it's 10 days ago when I landed in the US, Italy was not on an entire country shutdown. It now is. It spreads, and it can happen very, very quickly. So we just need to be prepared. And the way that Mahe and I are going to prepare ourselves, I've got some hints and some tips on how you could prepare yourself, just in case the worst does happen and we have to self-isolate, and we have to have social distancing, and all these sort of buzzwords that we're hearing a lot now being floated around, and why it is so important that you be prepared. And the success of your health success and your success in staying healthy and continuing to be healthy has all come down to being prepared, right? It's all about the preparation, because preparation is key. And my number one tip is to be prepared mentally and physically for what could possibly happen. And the way, as I was saying, the way that Mahe and I are going to be doing that physical preparation, because we're already mentally prepared, and it's one of the reasons why we're so looking forward to going home today, landing on Friday, tomorrow. Oh God, it's all rather confusing, but we're so excited about going home because it means that we can start to prepare our household. And that's really important because we have a son at home now who has a compromised immune system because he has been in hospital for 4 or 5 weeks with a serious infection. His immune system is very, very low. So we have a child who has a compromised immune system. We also have a house that has elderly people in it. They're both in their 70s, late 70s. They also are at higher risk of contracting this particular virus, COVID-19. So we are preparing ourselves to go back home and get prepared. And I'm not talking about panic, because panic doesn't do anyone any good, doesn't do you any good, because your cortisol levels increase with the stress, but it also doesn't do anyone around you any good as well, because if you're going into the supermarket and you're panic buying all the things you can find and you're stocking up, what happens to everyone else around you? We have to start thinking for the common good and as a community. And one of the things that we will also be doing is we're going to be making sure that our neighbours are okay as well, especially our elderly neighbours are in a position, if they can't get down to the shops, then we can do that for them. Because obviously, being a little bit younger, we are in a better position to be able to go to the stores and pick up supplies for our elderly neighbours, because we need to look after our community. It's really important. Even if there's no cases in your community right now, it only takes one person. And one of the things that really determined me to do this Q&A with you guys today about being prepared and being ready for a potential shutdown is the research that's come out now that the scientists are starting to agree on, is that the virus can remain airborne for up to 3 hours, that someone who had the virus goes through and sneezes or coughs or even just breathes, because sometimes the symptoms are what is known as symptomatic, which means there are no obvious symptoms. It's not like they're coughing and spluttering and you can go, oh my gosh, that person's sick. A lot of times the people show no symptoms whatsoever. So the virus can linger in the air for up to 3 hours. And the other thing that we need to be very mindful of is the virus can stay on surfaces that are touched for up to 3 days. So if we bear all these things in mind and we start to get prepared, we put ourselves into a better position as if not doing anything. Just panic buying toilet paper will not help you. You will have a clean butt, but that's about it, right? And if you're panic buying all the toilet paper and your elderly neighbour can't get any, then we're not doing them any favours to our community. We've got to work as a unit. We've got to work for the common good of everyone, because we need to make sure that everyone around us is protected as well. So here's some of the ways that we will be preparing ourselves and preparing our pantry. Because look, I'm no expert on COVID-19. I'm not an expert, but I am an expert on your pantry and food and how to make sure that you are looking after yourself, but not panic buying everything in sight, because that's not what we need to do. So preparation is key, being prepared. And the way that Mahé and I are going to prepare ourselves, and it kind of fits in perfectly with what we were going to do anyway, is we are going to be doing a meal plan for 28 days. One of the things that we're getting told about sort of self-isolation or quarantining yourself, one of the things we're being told is they're saying you need to spend at least 2 weeks, 14 days, right, in self-isolation if this is what it comes down to and they do lock us away. Our meal plan is double that. It's 28 days. Now, on Monday, Sydney time, which is Sunday in the US time, Mahé and I will be starting, and I'm hoping some of you guys will join us. We are going to be starting the 28-day gut fast meal plan. So I've got my 28-day meal plan, which is stage 1. Mahé and I are going to be doing stage 2 starting on Monday, which is 28 days. So we've given ourselves the weekend to shop and prep for that meal plan. Now, because I'm going to be shopping for 28 days, as much as I can, I'll be looking at getting staples in my pantry that I know will hold there. So I will make sure, and I've got my list here, I will make sure I have spices. Because no matter, one of the things that's going to get us, if we did have to self-isolate and we were like Italy and we were locked down, and the chances of that happening, depending on where you are in the world, they increase every single day. So that if we were to have lockdown, the thing that's going to probably really drive us a little bit batty, because we're still going to have social media, we're still going to be able to connect, and please don't forget that throughout this period you'll be getting so many updates from me. You're probably going to be annoyed with my voice after a while, because I will still be in my kitchen, because I'm going to lock myself in my house with our kids, with our cats, with our family and our loved ones, and I'm going to lock us all down, and I'm just going to look after us and literally put ourselves into this little protective bubble. Look after our community, look after our neighbours, but look after our family too. So you're going to get sick of me, I reckon, because I'm going to be doing cooking classes and all sorts of crazy stuff, because I'm going to be in my house. I've got nowhere else to go. So be prepared to be a little bit annoyed by me over the next couple of weeks. So when it comes to preparing the staples in your pantry, right, here's what I'm going to be looking at, and I'm literally going to print off. I've actually already got it printed off. It's at home on my desk. The Gut Fast plan. If you want to join us, all you need to do is go to gutfast.com to get your copy of the meal plan. It is also available if you go onto Bridget's Healthy Kitchen on Facebook and go into our Facebook shop. It is there as well, so you can do it that way. Once you've downloaded that, and please print it off as well if you can, because it's just easier when you print it off and you can stick it on the fridge and stuff. Once you've done that, you go through the shopping list. Everything's there for you. I've written the shopping list. They are there, so you know exactly what to shop for. And I'm going to be shopping for things that are going to keep my palate excited, like spices. The worst thing that can happen to us is we're going to get bored, right? You're going to see me a lot on TV, on your phone or on your laptop, but you might get a bit bored palate-wise. So make sure you stock up on your spices. I know it sounds really illogical, but it is so logical, because if you get down to a point where you're not able to go to the store, you want to make sure that you keep your palate excited. Otherwise, it's just so easy to get completely and utterly bored. So spices for me is definitely high on the list. I'm going to go through my spice cabinet and make sure I've got all my favorites ready to go. I'm also going to make sure I've got a good supply of tamari, because tamari sauce, as you know, is gluten-free. There's so many wonderful things that we can do with it. We can make sticky sauce. We can always make sure we can have access to something delicious if we have our tamari in there. The other thing that I'm going to make sure I've got a lot of, which is inulin powder, because I need to make sure that I'm keeping my gut healthy and I'm able to create treats as well, because you've got to have your treats, right? You can't just be self-isolating and you're not able to treat yourself. Otherwise, what are we doing? And at the same time, inulin's going to support your gut health. It's going to support your microbiome. It's going to keep your gut healthy. It's going to give you dietary fiber. It's sugar-free. It's all those wonderful things. So inulin is high on my list. And yes, we have inulin available. Just go to pureasinulin.com. We have inulin packets available for anyone who wants to buy it. And you don't have to go to the store. It gets delivered to your house. It's like perfect. You don't have to go to the store. It gets delivered to you. So inulin powder is on my list. Kombu is on my list, so I will be going to my favorite store and making sure I have my kombu and I have my wakame. These are the things that I know I can create so many dishes out of once I've got these type of products. And kombu is so good for increasing the iron, and it's all about having immune boosting foods right now. This is so important that we look after our health, more important than ever before, because one of the things that does concern me about this type of virus is you may not get the virus, right? Chances are you won't. But chances are people around you will. And what will then happen is that will have a major impact on the hospital and healthcare providers and services. And if you get any other type of illness and you need to go to hospital, and this is what's been happening in Italy, is that doctors have to choose who gets seen and who doesn't. So people are presenting with illnesses outside of COVID-19 and they're not being seen because the priority is going to people with the virus. So the health system will get overwhelmed. It will get overwhelmed. So if you are someone who has medication, make sure you have 14 days worth of medication ready for you, because you do not want to be visiting the ER. You do not want to be going to the pharmacy. You do not want to be going to the to your GP, because these services could potentially be very overwhelmed with people who are presenting with these viral symptoms. So it's really important that we look after our health even more so, because there are certain illnesses that have your chances of contracting COVID-19 increase. So one of them, as we know, is age is a huge factor. So people 60 plus are presenting more. This is what the data is showing all throughout the world. It's not isolated to one country, but people who are over 60 are presenting more often than people under 60. In saying that you are not immune because you're under 60, it just seems to be that the data is showing that this is what's happening, is people who are over 60 are presenting more with the virus. But if you have diabetes, if you have high blood pressure, if obesity is an issue, if you have heart disease, these are also major contributing factors for people where the data is showing more likely to get ill. So the importance of us being well now, like look after it now. This is about being prepared. Start now. There is no time to wait because we don't know what's going to happen. I can't say what my conversation with you guys is going to be on next Friday's Q&A. A week is a long time when we're talking about a viral pandemic. It's a long time. I don't know where we're going to be going. Start now. Start today. Prepare yourself now. Prepare your health now. So all these staples, right? So that you can limit your exposure to having to go and shop. Because you don't want to be shopping. If you have the ability to get food delivered to you, I know, in certain, especially in metro parts of the world, so big cities, you can actually go online and you can have them delivered to your house. Please do that if you can. Save you having to go to the store and expose yourself. Really important. If you're not able to get things delivered to you, then make sure that when you do shop, you have your list and you have enough supplies for a minimum of 2 weeks, up to 4 if you can. Don't go crazy and have supplies for 6 months because you've got to let everyone else shop, but make sure you've got that sort of, that sort of ability as well, which is really important. So think about your supplies. I'm also looking at things like apple cider vinegar. Really important that I have that because I have that every single day in one way or the other. I'm having that. I'm going to be creating a tonic for you guys that it requires apple cider vinegar and turmeric and ginger. So I suggest definitely, and I'll be sharing that recipe with you over the weekend. Make sure that you've got apple cider vinegar. Make sure you've got basic stuff like, teas that you enjoy drinking. Lots of green tea for you to drink. Lots of dandelion tea. Things like that that is going to fortify. And green tea, by the way, we spoke about this last week. Green tea is amazing for boosting your immune system, which is what you want to do now, is to boost your immune system. So green tea, dandelion tea, even black tea. Just make sure you've got lots of teas, things that excite your palate, things that you enjoy as well. It's really important. Basic things like salt and pepper. Because the worst thing that could happen is that you run out of salt and then your palate is bored and bland the whole time. So things like that. But don't go crazy. Just have enough for 2 to 4 weeks. Yeah, 2 to 4 weeks. The other way that we're going to be prepared, that's one of the things for me, it's pantry staples. And limiting the amount of times I go to the store. So I know it's a little bit difficult. We start talking about fresh produce because pantry staples are easy. They sit in the pantry. You don't have to think about them. They don't need any refrigeration. They don't go off very quickly, which is great. But what about the things that do? So when it comes to your perishable products, there's a couple of ways that you can limit the exposure you have by the amount of times you go shopping, and also limit the how the produce breaks down, because you want to keep it as fresh as possible for as long as possible. So here's some ways that you can do that. Obviously with meats or protein or seafood, freeze it, right? Freeze everything down. Buy enough chicken, buy enough beef, buy enough fish, whatever it might be, and freeze it down. That's the best way you can do it. When it comes to fresh produce like vegetables and herbs and things like that, if you're not fortunate enough to have a herb garden, I envy everyone who has a herb garden right now, or a veggie patch. I envy you. But if you don't, which I don't, I will be bringing out the vacuum sealer and I'll be vacuum sealing all my fresh produce, which just means it's going to last that much longer in my fridge. Yes, I will still have to shop for fresh produce only, like go to the veggie shop. I will limit the amount of times I go to a large supermarket, and I will shop more in my local stores that has less traffic coming through it, like my local veggie shop. So I will be doing it that way. I'll be limiting the amount of times I walk into a Coles or a Woolies or an Aldi, but I will go Every now and then, maybe once a week, I will go into my veggie shop, my little tiny neighborhood veggie shop. If you can do that, it's going to be more beneficial than if you're constantly shopping in a large store. If you can't financially afford to shop that far in advance, this is when things like your vacuum sealer come in really handy, because you can shop even just for a week, vacuum seal your ginger, vacuum seal your garlic, your herbs, your fresh fruit and vegetables. It is going to last that much longer. Obviously, refrigeration is really important now as well. So vacuum sealers are going to be flying off the shelves, I reckon, because they're really going to help our produce to last that much longer, and they do increase shelf life by up to 4 to 6 times more than if you were to just stick that cucumber in the fridge. It'll last 4 to 6 times longer if it's vacuum sealed, because the vacuum seal takes out all the oxygen, so it prevents that item from oxidizing and going off faster. So really important. The other thing that I'll be doing, and we've talked about this need for immune boosting foods, and I've talked about this often, and literally flick through one of my cookbooks, the yellow one or the green one, you're going to find immune boosting foods, because that's what we do. Gut health is actually about boosting the immunity at the same time, but we're going to double down on that. We're going to put that on steroids, and the way that we're putting that on steroids is we're now going to be doing this gut fast meal plan for 28 days, which means that I'm going to be looking after my health in the most minute way. Like, it's so focused, which is what I need to do now. I need to focus my energies on my health and building my immune system. I need to focus my energies on being prepared for a potential shutdown, and I need to do this for the family as well. So that's why I think if we are looking at this, from a prepared point of view, this is the best time to do a meal plan, because it's all there. The shopping lists are there. The prep lists are there. You know exactly what you need to do and what you need to buy. I've taken the guesswork out of it for us. So on Monday, when we start the Gut Fast plan, I will give you guys regular updates on how it's going, what we're doing, what we're cooking. We'll do cooking classes right from the Gut Fast meal plan. All the recipes are in the yellow book for the Gut Fast meal plan. Plus, I've given you a bonus section in the meal plan. I think there's an extra 10 to 12 recipes in the meal plan as well. So all the recipes are there. You don't have to search for them. You don't have to download them anywhere. They're all there in the yellow book, and they're all there in the meal plan as well. So you get all that sort of stuff. And because it's 28 days, and we're only told 14 days is like the time that if we do need to isolate, we do need to do that self-monitoring. 14 days, we're going to double that, and we're just going to go, you know what, 28 days is good for me. I'm just going to double it up. I know I'm good to go. So that's one of the benefits there as well. Another thing that you can think of doing, which is also just what we do anyway, which is really exciting. If you think about the staples that we create, you think about all the staples in my book, in the foundation recipes, like sticky sauce, all the stuff lasts for a long time. They're not highly perishable. But pickles are going to be your best friend during this period. You go to the veggie shop once, you buy up the stuff you're going to make into pickles, and then you just literally pickle everything, and they last for such a long time. So pickles, I'm going to be making pickles all weekend, which I'm actually really excited about. I haven't done nearly enough cooking in the last couple of weeks, so I'm excited about going home and making pickles. I know, right? It's crazy. But here are some benefits for you guys that I just sort of quickly jotted down. Some benefits of the Gut Fast meal plan, outside of the obvious, which is about being prepared and preparing your pantry for a potential shutdown. Yeah, preparing your pantry. Here's some benefits. So one of the things I love about the Gut Fast meal plan is it's cost effective, because it is one of those ideas that not only uses gut health as a basis for it, because it's a two-pronged attack, I like to think of with the Gut Fast plan, is yes, it's all about gut health, but it's intermittent fasting as well. So when you are doing intermittent fasting, we're not eating, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. We're literally going to be eating twice a day. So we're eating less often, which means that we're eating less food. We're still eating good food, but we're eating food that's going to keep us feeling fuller longer. That's the beauty of intermittent fasting, is rather than just eating foods that we call like empty, so you eat something and you feel hungry later on, this food is designed, or the recipes in the meal plan is designed to keep you feeling fuller longer, but you don't have to eat as often. So you're eating less, which means it's cost effective, and it costs you nothing to fast. It's free. You don't have to shop for it. You don't have to leave the house for it. You just have to set your mind to it and do it. So gut fast is very cost effective. In fact, fasting is one of the most cost effective diets you will ever do in your life, because it requires no money down. It just requires what's happening up here to start to get you on the idea that this is what you're going to do moving forward. So it's very cost effective. And obviously the gut fast plan is all about being prepared, as you know, so we're being prepared. But also this particular meal plan, it's very healing if you do have underlying health conditions. Very healing, not just to the gut, it's also very healing to the brain as well. So it's a very healing process. It is wonderfully immune boosting, because all the foods that I have in the gut fast meal plan are designed to boost your immune system and heal your gut at the same time. Of course, it is amazing for weight loss, and when we are carrying less weight, especially if our weight is not where it should be, we're going to be getting healthier. The less weight we have on our body carrying around, the healthier we're going to be. So weight loss equals health, right? It improves your energy. So you can do things like cook for yourself, because your energy levels are better, your sleep is better, and when your sleep is better, your health is better. So it's all these types of, remember I always talk about things being very intertwined, that's all part of it as well. A great thing about intermittent fasting is what is known as autophagy. So when you fast for a minimum of 13 hours, so you don't eat for 13 hours, which may sound, for a few of you may sound like, oh my God, that's such a long time. Trust me, you'll get used to it very, very quickly. 13 hours will be nothing to you. It does take a little while to get used to, especially if you're used to eating every 6 to 7 to 8 hours. It does take a little bit, only a couple of days. When you fast for a minimum of 13 hours, what happens is your body begins to detox itself. So it starts to go through this detoxification process, and how that happens is it starts to heal the cells within your body. It starts to literally break off the toxins or the cells that are toxic and create healthy cells. So that detoxification process happens so much faster when you are fasting. And with a minimum of 13 hours of fasting, your body will start to go through this natural cellular detoxification and cellular regeneration. It happens throughout your entire body, because your body's basically made up of cells. And it happens throughout your entire body, so it's very, very healing in that way as well. It also is incredibly, incredibly beneficial for your gut, because when you fast and when you're not eating, you give your gut time to heal. If your gut is constantly going through this process of constantly digesting food, it never ever goes into the healing cycle, and our bodies all run on cycles. We are always giving our body all this opportunity to have to, digest food and digest different bits and pieces. Once you start going down the intermittent fasting route, your body will begin, or your digestive system will begin to go through a process of healing itself, of increasing those really good bacteria in our microbiome, and decreasing the negative or the toxic bacteria in our microbiome. And when our gut is healthy, everything changes. So so many benefits of this particular meal plan, the gut fast meal plan. If you've never done a meal plan with us before, and you're wondering whether you can do the intermittent fasting, we do have another meal plan that you might want to start on, which is my 28-day meal plan. It is still immune boosting, it's still weight loss, it's still really good for your gut health. But this one that we'll be doing, which is the gut fast, is kind of like the stage 2. So if you want to go to the stage 1, then you just need to go to onto Facebook, on Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, onto the Facebook shop, and click on the Facebook shop, and you will see the 28-day meal plan. I suggest you start there if you've never done one with us before. You'll still be lovely prepared as well, so that's all good. I'm just going to ask Mahi what time it is, because last time I was in the airport, we nearly missed our flight. We are good. We're good for our flight. It's a bit of a walk that way, but I know we're pretty good for it. So yes, if you've never done a meal plan before, you might want to start on the 28-day meal plan. If you reckon you want to give this gut fast stuff a try, then you can join us this coming Monday as we start the gut fast meal plan, which is, like I said, super, super, super duper exciting. So that's kind of preparing your pantry in a bit of a nutshell. Being prepared, making sure you've got your staples, limiting your exposure to shopping, having shopping brought into you if you can, having it delivered, or limiting the times that you go shopping. So thinking about vacuum sealing and freezing and things along those lines, which are really important, and making sure that you have things there that's a bit of a treat as well. Like if you like to drink red wine, grab a couple of bottles of red wine as well, because there is nothing worse than not being able to treat yourself. Yes, there's no red wine on the gut fast meal plan, but if you're not doing the meal plan along with us, feel free to look after yourself and look after your spirit as well, which is really important. So just before we go, and if you are joining us on the gut fast plan on Monday, yay, let's do this together. Let's prepare together. Let's support each other together, because remember, right now, as we go, who knows what the world's going to look like in 2 weeks. Let's be completely honest here. And from all accounts, as I was saying before, it's going to get worse. There's no stopping it. In certain countries, containment they can't now. It's not about stopping it from entering the country. It's about making sure that the spread is limited. How that happens, it's a bit of a mystery, and it's scary times, but we can be prepared. We can prepare ourselves now, most definitely. So some of the other questions that we've had come through over the last couple of days since we've been away, and we have missed you all. I hope you've joined me, because we have had some great cooking classes here in Hawaii. We did 4 cooking classes from my little Hawaiian kitchen. We did poke on day 1. We did a healthy poke bowl with a cauliflower and broccoli rice, and it was spectacular. It was amazing. On day 2, we did my version of garlic shrimps, which is very popular in the shrimp trucks on the North Shore of Hawaii. On day 3, we did the most incredible marinated huli chicken, which is my sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free version of the most incredible marinade, so popular here in the islands. I fed it, by the way, that night to some Hawaiians, and they had no idea it was sugar-free. They were blown away at how I was able to get the flavors so on point when it came to this Hawaiian classic, which is huli chicken. And then on day 4, which was yesterday, I did my version of a gluten-free, sugar-free, not dairy-free, gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free option of my chocolate whole pear pie, which once again I fed to some locals, and one of the locals was completely blown away with this delicious dessert. So we had an amazing 4 days here. You can watch all the videos by just going back onto Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, which is our Facebook page, and going onto the video tab, clicking on that tab, and you will see all the videos come up. And literally they are in a row, so you can watch all the videos on replay if you need to. They are also going to be available on YouTube, because you guys know I've got a YouTube channel, right? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just Google Bridget's Healthy Kitchen YouTube. My YouTube channel will come up. I think I've got about 38,000 subscribers on YouTube. 456 videos at last count. There's a lot of videos on there if you want to do any type of catch up on all the healthy stuff we've done the last couple of years. Those videos are on YouTube as well. So just some points we'll just quickly cover off for you guys before we head off to jump on and check into our flight. Mahe would like me to remind you Mahe would like me to remind you, and if you don't do it, you're naughty. Mahe would like me to remind you, if you are new to our group, Bridget's Healthy Kitchen Family Group, so that's our private group page. If you're new to our group and you're sort of trying to work your way around it, the best thing that you can do is when you go onto the group page, so actually, go into the search bar on Facebook and put in Bridget's Healthy Kitchen Family. That is a group name. Once it brings up the page, you'll see at the top of your phone or your laptop or your iPad or whatever it is, you'll see some tabs, and on those tabs there'll be announcements and there'll be files. If you want to know how the group works, click on the announcement tabs, and all the relevant information about how the group works, how to ask questions, how to post, that all comes up there. And there's Mahei has also created files for people that have questions that we see regularly come up in that group as well. So from Mahei, if you're new to our group, click on announcements, click on files, have a bit of a read, do some research, you know, just find out what everything's about, and it's just going to make your journey so much more pleasant and so much easier as well, which is really good. Another thing we want to talk about, which is really cool, is we have a date for the launch or the relaunch of the yellow book, which is Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, which was the very first healthy cookbook I did, which we launched in April last year. We're about to relaunch that book, and we're going to be working with a publisher called Murdoch Books, which is one of the most prestigious lifestyle and cooking publishers in the world. And they want to work with us, and I'm so excited to be working with Murdoch Books. They are phenomenal. They're such beautiful, beautiful people. They have been incredible towards me and Mahei and looked after us, and they've made sure that I have maintained my creative juices throughout this entire process. So we're going to be relaunching the yellow book, and I have a name for you guys as well. The yellow book is going to be called Eat Your Way Slim and Healthy. That is the new name for the yellow book. So the yellow book is still going to have all the wonderful recipes that you love, but I've added a new chapter, which is going to be the healthy treats chapter. So there's going to be a new chapter in the book. There's going to be an index. There's going to be all the things that you said would really improve the book. I gave that feedback back to Murdoch, and they have literally combined that to make this yellow book amazing. Now, the yellow book, Eat Your Way Slim and Healthy, by Bridget Davis, is going to be relaunched in August of this year. So on August the 3rd, it is going to be available on all the bookstores, on Amazon, on Booktopia in Europe and the UK on August the 3rd. Yeah, this year. How exciting, right? For Australia and New Zealand, the book is going to be available in all the bookstores. All the bookstores, like the Dimmicks and the Whitcalls and all that sort of stuff. It's going to be available on Amazon. It's going to be available on Booktopia. And it's going to be available, as in it's going to be sent to you. We're going to have a pre-purchase on August the 4th. August the 4th this year, my new revised book, Eat Your Way Slim and Healthy by Bridget Davis, is going to be available. It's going to be sent out to you if you pre-purchase it on August the 3rd or the 4th, and we're talking about a worldwide global launch, and yes, it's going to be available in all the bookstores. So we're very excited by that prospect. We're very excited, and it literally is Eat Your Way Slim and Healthy, because that's what we do. If you eat the food, you will lose weight. If you eat the food, you will get healthy. If you eat the food, you will boost your immune system, right? This is just what happens. But the best part about it, as we all know, is the food tastes delicious, so you don't really feel like, you know, you're just eating delicious food. And when you're eating delicious food, it's not hard work. And it's not hard work because the recipes are easy, right? Recipes are simple. So that happens on August the 3rd and the 4th for a global relaunch of the book, which is super exciting. If you're wondering whether we have inulin for sale, yes we do. This is the perfect time to buy it. Thank you Georgie for putting it into your calendar. Thank you, my darling, I appreciate that. Thank you. I can't wait for you guys to see it. It is like, we've changed fonts, there's going to be beautiful pictures. It's looking amazing. I had my first look at it yesterday, no, the day before yesterday, and I was very excited by the finished product of how it's going to look. It's bigger than the last book as well, but it's the next evolution of Bridget's Healthy Kitchen, which is really exciting. So very cool. So if you're wondering whether we have inulin for sale, yes we do. I have bought some more inulin. We'll be packing it once we get back into Sydney, but we have inulin available. pureasinulin.com. Get your inulin. Don't have to go to the store. It gets delivered straight to you. And of course, it's about boosting your immune system, looking after your gut health, boosting your prebiotics and your probiotics at the same time. So it's really important. So the next big announcement, and just before we go and run off to, I better drink my water before we go. Yeah, it's only water. It's only water. It's only water. Goodness me, it's only water. Before we head off to catch our flight, I have one more announcement, and it's a good one. So, you guys know I've got inulin for sale, right? And at the moment, yes, I know it's only available in Australia and New Zealand. Once we get back to Sydney, one of Mahay's top priorities, among another 50 other top priorities on his to-do list, we've now called our to-do list to smash it list, because we've got to have to go there and just knock it out of the park. So on our to smash it list, Mahay will be increasing where we send inulin to. So we're going to be creating, he just needs to create some more elements to the website, so that is available for inulin to be purchased throughout the world. At the moment it's only Australia and New Zealand. We will be extending that out to into Europe and as well as into America as well. So do not panic. We're getting there. We just need a little bit more time to work through that website. But the last big announcement for the day, I did mention it the other day, so it's not that big, but it's very exciting, is we have sourced, it's taken us a while, we have found an incredible supplier of fiber syrup. So fiber syrup, as you know, is the prebiotic, so gut healthy syrup alternative to maple and high fructose corn syrup and agave and honey and all those things that spike our insulin and increase our blood glucose levels, which is not good for weight loss, it's not good for gut health, and it's not good especially for diabetics as well. We have found our own version of the healthy syrup, fiber syrup, and we're going to be launching that. That is my priority when I get back into Sydney, is we're going to be launching our fiber syrup. And one of the beautiful things that I love about our fiber syrup is we're able to source the purest fiber syrup on the planet, just like our inulin. It is pure. We're never going to give you guys a product that is not worthy of you. So it had to be 100% pure fiber syrup. So we have found a fiber syrup that is 100% pure. It is coming out of Europe, which is also really important to us. We're making sure that we're getting our products sourced from the right place. So it's coming out of Europe. And the best part about it is we're going to get that fiber syrup to you at an extremely good price. I would rather, like I said, not make money to make sure that you get that product rather than price it out of the market, which I know fiber syrup can be very expensive to buy. So we are going to keep the price as low as we can to make sure we cover costs, we cover production, and that's all we want to do, because we want to get this fiber syrup to you, and it is pure. It is pure, and it's going to be called Sweet as Fiber Syrup. So we are launching that. It's like I said, as soon as I get back into Sydney, I'm going to be working hard to get that fiber syrup launched into the market in the next couple of weeks, so that you guys can start purchasing it as well. And I'm going to make sure we get it to you at a blinking good price as well at the same time. So very excited to say that we have the next product coming onto the market, and the next product is pure. It is pure and it is good, and it's just what we need to create all our healthy treats and desserts and sauces and all that sort of wonderful stuff. So very excited about that. But anyway, I better drink my water and run off down to the plane to catch our flight home. Next time I see you, I'll be in Sydney, and I cannot wait. At the same time, I'm so sad that I'm leaving. I miss this beautiful island already. I miss the beautiful people. We will be back, but right now we need to go home and prepare for what might happen. Who knows, right? Oh, I thought one last thing. Tomorrow, I will be announcing the winner. We're doing the live draw. We'll be doing the live draw for who wins the prize to come and join me in Sydney for a foodies weekend. We don't have to join me now. We'll wait for the virus to settle down, but at least you know who's going to win that prize. We're drawing it live tomorrow here on Facebook. So join me tomorrow for our live draw. Yay! And I'm excited. I can't wait to see who's won. We've had some amazing entries from Bridget's Healthy Kitchen Cookbook competition. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Be safe, be well, look after yourself. Go and look after your pantry, stock it up, download the Gut Fast meal plan, print it off. Join us on Monday for that meal plan as well. All right, guys. Love you all. Talk to you soon. Be well, be safe. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh.